weeks, because that's what I wanted to ask you about, Brent, in terms of what comes next. Because let's assume that Sam and Greg set up their own division when it does come to AI, and it's under the banner of Microsoft. And Microsoft, we've spoken about this before. They're obviously going to be spending incredible sums of amounts when it does come to building out all the infrastructure in order to facilitate using all of these Gen AI processes. But what happens if what Satya said is true, and he's allowed to, engage in his other projects. He's allowed to try and go raise funds for this, that, the other, whether it be with Masa-san and try to make AI hardware with Johnny Ive, or whether it be going to the Saudis trying to raise money, and all of the little conflicts of interests that might arise, that might, not necessarily be viewed positively by Microsoft, and potentially not necessarily by investors if we're talking about, where you're sourcing certain monies from, and how the ownership of all of that shakes out, because that's what we haven't gotten clarity about. It's one thing to say that Sam and Greg are going to come work there, but what does it mean for Microsoft holders? Yes, they could potentially be net positive in some respects, but there's a raft of different issues that could result from all of this, isn't there?
I agree. I mean, what I have a hard time believing is why would they want to come to Microsoft? No founder that has that kind of up-and-coming status wants to go work for the biggest platform story. They want to go do their own thing. And so the question I've gotten from our investors is, why on earth did they even take this? Like, what is this? Is this more just a PR stunt to settle everyone down, or is this real? And do they really want to be there? And so again, I think Microsoft has the development strength and the trust of their customers that even if this didn't go the way they wanted, and let's say they did leave the company, I think they've got enough initiatives and enough internal IP and enough, other relationships where they could potentially substitute in other technologies, even use their own technology to help brace this. But the big story here for Microsoft was this partnership was super strong. They were ahead of everyone else telling the story, and the customer deployments were way ahead. And all of a sudden, the rug got pulled out underneath. And what does that mean? So part of that thesis is in jeopardy, and we'll see what happens. But again, as I've said, Microsoft's navigated way worse situations. I mean, this was a Windows company, and Nadella took it to where it was at, building Azure, building a number of the other solutions that have made Microsoft into what it is today, even ahead of AI. So in my opinion, they've been in situations like this, and he knows how to get through them. This is going to be a tough one to get through. And again, I think most of our clients are skeptical that the OpenAI team would actually stay and be at Microsoft for a long time, given their aspirations and what they want to do in AI work. And will Microsoft give them the opportunity to do that? And I think, again, there are very few situations where founders like this have gone to a big platform company and stayed. And I think that's a real legitimate concern. But again, on the flip side, if I'm a customer and you said, what employee do you trust the most covering technology right now? Nadella is number one by a long, long ways. So, I think he'll figure this out, whether it's with the OpenAI team or not. He's gonna figure this out, and they've got some PR cleanup to do.